Welcome to a sold-out Madison Square Garden in New York City. It's Game 4 of the opening round playoff series between the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks. The starting lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. LeBron James has led his team to a 3-0 lead, looking for the sweep here this afternoon. Meanwhile, for the Knicks, good news. Amari Stoudemire returns after missing Game 3 with the lacerated hand, courtesy of a fire extinguisher. And Stoudemire in the starting lineup. But wearing some padding on that left hand. Went through practice yesterday, and he is set to go for Mike Woodson. And what, of course, and obvious is an elimination game for the Knicks, who have really struggled in the first 3 games of this series. Along with Jeff Van Gundy and Lisa Salters, Mike Breen on hand. Second game of our doubleheader on ABC. Philadelphia with the terrific performance down the stretch to take a 3-1 lead. And Jeff, for the Knicks to force a Game 5, and that's their only thought coming into this one. What's got to be the key? What has to change for them?
Well, their offensive execution has to change. Anthony has shot the ball very poorly so far because of the individual defense and the team defense. So they've got to get the ball side to side, but truly they just don't have a lot of range shooting.
Mario Chalmers misses. Chandler the rebound. In the game the other night here in New York, the Knicks were only down by 2 heading into the 4th, and then LeBron James took over with a marvelous 4th quarter to have the Heat 1 win away from a second round. Haslam the foul. The basket will not count.
All right, so Mike, I'm fining every Miami player $1,000 each if they let Stoudemire go to his right hand tonight. He's got a pad on his left hand. He can't dribble left. You can't allow him to go to his right.
This is not a bounty, is it? As Fields gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. And this happened before the game as part of the protection the officials have to examine to make sure it's obviously safe for everybody involved. That's Monty McCutcheon, the crew chief, patting it down. He could work for the TSA.
Well, then what I'd do is I'd cut it off and go back and put whatever I wanted into it right after that. So
what fine sportsmanship to promote. But it's interesting to see how Stoudemire handles it if he has to put it on the floor dribbling. He's a right-handed shooter.
I think it's going to be catching and rebounding in traffic when you're getting bumped. That's going to be very difficult.
Well, Fields goes 1 of 2. Meanwhile, Chalmers will bring it up. We talk so much about LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Mario Chalmers has had an excellent series for the Heat. Bosh can't connect. Stoudemire grabs the rebound first with just the one hand. And here's Anthony. The Heat defense, the job they've done on him, Jeff, is unbelievable. Baron Davis out of control. And a turnover. That's another problem for the Knicks. And it's especially a problem when you face the Heat. Mike Woodson's team has turned it over 20 times a game average in the first 3.
Yeah, when you're not shooting well, the least you can do is, as Haslam knocks in the mid-range jumper, the least you can do is take care of the ball so you know you're getting a high number of shots. They're doing neither. That's why they're averaging only 77 points in the first 3 games.
Knicks, all the talk before the game was about spreading the floor, better ball movement, playing both sides of the floor. They felt it got stuck quite a bit as Fields misses the jumper. And Wade down the other end. Wade has also had an excellent series, shooting 56% through the first 3 games. James hearing boos, crowd getting on him quite a bit the other night, and he responded in the best possible way by quieting the Madison Square Garden crowd. Haslam's jump shot, that misses, and Bosh the rebound. Wade the drive and the finish with the left hand. Miami, which struggled so much on the road in the second half of the season, is very impressive despite not having one of their better performances, the way they stayed with the game. And as Davis puts up a 3, that one in and out. Bosh the rebound. Matchups again. Anthony on James, and Carmelo Anthony tried to steal it, goes crashing into Monty McCutcheon. The two of them go crashing into the photographers, and good to see both smiling. McCutcheon with good padding there for Carmelo Anthony.
Well, good deflection by Anthony in pursuit. And then Monty McCutcheon flops. He flopped, Mike.
Meanwhile, Lisa Salters got out of the way quickly, pass inside to Haslam. McCutcheon, by the way, now in his 19th year, he's the crew chief. He's become one of the top officials in the game as Wade misfires. Anthony the rebound. Davis looking, Fields sidesteps back up top. Anthony, good open look. That shot won't go. He has really struggled. 34%. Comes down the other end to James, and James lays it in. 6 straight points by the Heat. And they're quickly up by 5.
Beautiful pass by Chalmers.
By the way, when Stoudemire was introduced, there was just maybe a smattering of boos. It's been a hot topic on his mistake as Wade with the steal. Bad pass from Davis, and Wade throws it down. Second turnover for Davis, and 8 straight points now for the Miami Heat. Mike Woodson not calling a timeout, yelling at his team to move the ball. Fields on the drive, flips it up and in. They're playing off Landry Fields, almost daring him to shoot.
Well, good attack by Fields. Catch, drove it, and then shot the little floater.
Off the foot of Stoudemire, as we say hello for the first time today to Lisa Salters. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Mike, you were talking about that padding that Amari Stoudemire has on his hand. It's about 8 layers deep. All those stitches you saw, I asked him how many. He said too many to count. He said I got cut all the way down to the bone. But there are the steri strips that are on top that are keeping the stitches there. A layer of tape, gauze pad, adhesive wrap as if he had a wrist injury. His wrist is wrapped up with adhesive tape. A thick gel pack, and that's probably the primary source of padding. And then there's more tape, a sleeve wrap, and then the blue sleeve that he has over top of that. So altogether, about 8 layers protecting that left hand.
Yikes. Meanwhile, Stoudemire with a pretty pass. Nothing going down easily for Carmelo Anthony, but he's able to convert, and the Heat lead cut to 5. That's got to have, as you said, Jeff, a huge impact because it looks pretty cumbersome. A huge impact on grabbing rebounds.
Absolutely. And I think, again, he did something that was obviously in the heat of the moment as Haslam misses a shot. But, Mike, I have to say, I've seen a number of players.
Stoudemire on the foul.
And good attack by Stoudemire. But I've seen a number of players do similar things, hit the wall, kick something, and it just didn't result in injury. And so to be fair, I think it got portrayed as selfish. I think it was more just stupid.
And Bosch puts it up, and as Tyson Chandler was saying before the game, anybody can make a boneheaded mistake, and that's what it was in a split second. It was a split second of anger, and unfortunately for him, the place that he hit happened to have some open glass, or glass that obviously broke. And the ball is kicked. Well, it was an ugly sight. Again, it happened after game 2 on the way to the Miami Heat locker room after the Knicks lost and went down 0-2.
And this is a nice attack. Missed the first shot. Good quick second jump.
Again, you wonder on that initial drive if he's gathering with the left hand, if that's why he fumbled it. Davis to Stoudemire. Double team.
See, but the weak side is wide open, and they didn't get it there.
Anthony drives. Crowd wanted a foul. Wade was right on top of him. And what you said, Jeff, that's what Mike Woodson was talking about, that everything's on the strong side. The ball playing at one end of the one side of the floor. Nice help from Fields with the steal. Well, defense will be critical. That's what was the key for the Knicks down the stretch of the regular season when Mike Woodson went 18-6 after taking over. Wade now on Anthony. Bosch looking to help. Anthony gets inside. Good hard move. He had a nightmare game shooting the basketball in game 3. And again, he's seen all sorts of different looks The Heat schemes to stop Anthony have been fabulous. Wade with a hand in his face. That won't go. Stoudemire, the one-handed rebound. Fields banks it in. Landry Fields with a couple of nice drives. And the Knicks back within one. And the crowd into it. As LeBron James and the Heat call timeout. After an 8-0 run by the Heat, the Knicks respond.
Good decision by Baron Davis just to advance it. Field sidesteps and uses the glass. And then against the smaller Dwayne Wade, late help by Miami. That's just too many dribbles to let Anthony attack with. An easy one for Anthony.
Welcome back to New York City on a beautiful afternoon. The Heat leading by 1 with just under 5 remaining in the first. The State Farm Eastern Conference brackets. Big win for Philadelphia. Indiana in control, and a huge game tonight in Boston as the Celtics leading the Hawks 2-1. This one, of course, 3-0. And what a difference a week makes. Prior to the playoffs starting, many thought this would be the most compelling, the most riveting first-round series. And granted, injuries are a part of the problems for the Knicks, but the Heat have been unbelievable. What's impressed you the most about how they played so far?
Well, it's their defense. Their defense has just been astounding in their quickness to not only help on Carmelo Anthony, but recover and take away the three-point shot.
And a travel call on Chris Bosh. Tyson Chandler with some excellent defense. The NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. And he said his message to the team was just keep fighting as they head out for what is an elimination game for them. Said it would be embarrassing to be swept on your home floor. He watched his former team get swept last night. Nice feed inside. Baron Davis. And Stoudemire going well early. And the Knicks, after trailing by 7, now with a 1-point lead. You see Mike Miller in the game. And Davis guards him, whereas Fields is on Wade. James shot won't go. Chandler the rebound. Game 3 had some feel-good moments for the Knicks in the first half. They actually led by 11 with just under 2 minutes remaining. We're playing well, and then had one of those end-of-quarter collapses where the Heat went on a 7-0 run. Anthony in and out. Stoudemire again. Back up, count it, and 1. Welcome back, Amari Stoudemire. And he now has 6 points and a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, good isolation catch by Anthony, and then Stoudemire does a good job not only rebounding it, but absorbing the contact by Haslam and finishing with good strength.
Stoudemire had a efficient game 2. He was 6 of 9 from the field, but felt he should have gotten the ball more, and that's what you think is a key for them here this afternoon, is get him involved in the offense. With Stoudemire, and a loose ball foul is going to go against the Knicks. Stoudemire.
Well, think about it. Carmelo Anthony is shooting over 20 times a game, and Stoudemire in his 2 games averaging 8 shots. Somehow there's got to be a way that they can play on the same side of the floor or just play off of each other better so that the ball is distributed at a better rate.
Battier couldn't hold on. Since Carmelo Anthony was acquired last year, those two have just not been comfortable on the floor yet together.
Mike, and a lot of it is this. The front line of Anthony, Stoudemire, and Chandler, there's not a lot of room. And then they don't surround them with perimeter players that have a lot of shooting ability.
Baron Davis misses. Stoudemire another rebound, but knocked out of his hands. And as we continue to overanalyze the padding, you wonder if that had anything to do with it. Miller misses. And Baron Davis with a push. Bosh was in excellent position, but a loose ball foul against the Knicks. Davis is first. Hey kids, visit NBAHoopTroop.com today to play cool games, watch exciting videos, earn points, and get info on all your favorite NBA teams and players. That's NBAHoopTroop.com. Fields sits down, as does Dwayne Wade. Fields a solid start with 5 points. And J.R. Smith in the game. Smith is the second leading scorer in the series for the Knicks, but he's only at 39% shooting. And easy bucket for James as Mike Miller with a pretty pass. Knicks had their best home winning percentage in 11 years this year. They were 22-11, including 11-1 at home under Mike Woodson. The one loss to the Miami Heat. Anthony on the pull-up. Short again. Rebound fought for. Bosch has it. Anthony starting 2 for 7 from the field.
But he's had good shots, Mike. As good a shots as he's had all series as Stoudemire picks up his second foul.
Stoudemire telling Tom Washington, watch down the other end. We'll have a timeout. 2:42 in the first. Knicks a 1-point lead.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by SAP. The best run better with SAP.
Good start for Amari Stoudemire, returning after missing game 3, although now picks up 2 fouls and will sit a bit, but very active early.
And aggressive. Again here, he's trying to go left. It's very difficult when he goes left to make a clean pickup and attack. He misses the first shot and gets the second shot to go in. And look at the rebound. Won't bring his left hand up, sort of tips it to himself so he can gather it. And then on the second shot, again, very reluctant to get that left hand in there on the initial catch, but give him credit. He set a great tone early for the Knicks from the standpoint of intensity and aggressiveness.
Well, he'll sit with the 2 fouls. Steve Novak comes in. That's another part of the agenda for Mike Woodson. Steve Novak has played 67 minutes in this series. He's attempted 7 shots. Baron Davis is on LeBron James. Misses. Ball tipped out. Smith comes up with it. He guarded him in game 3. Actually did a pretty decent job.
Well, Baron Davis has got great strength. At this point in his career, he's got greater strength than he does quickness.
Davis finding Chandler. Chandler gets inside and is fouled by Battier. Well, Davis, after a couple of early turnovers, now doing a good job finding his teammates.
Really good fundamental play by Davis. They're getting low, throwing the little pocket bounce pass, and Chandler really good on the roll. May have gotten away with a little bit of a travel, but attacks Battier's body and gets 2 free throws.
Battier picks up his first. How about Shane Battier the other day in game 3? He goes 0 for 6 from the field, and he gets the game ball by his teammates. His defense on Carmelo Anthony, his help defense overall was tremendous.
Well, you always know what you're going to get from Battier. He's going to come focused. He's going to play hard. He's going to know the plan. And he's going to make a minimum of mental mistakes.
Now, his defense is a product of desire and preparation. I mean, he studies film, he studies numbers, tendencies of the opponents. Knicks by 2 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining. James again, he was struggling through the first 3 quarters as he knocks it off Davis. First 3 quarters of game 3, he had 8 turnovers, he was in foul trouble. And then all of a sudden, the game belonged to him. And he quieted some taunts and cheers that he heard from the crowd. It was his first playoff game here at Madison Square Garden.
But I find it funny when people say that fueled him. Well, what happened? Didn't fuel him the first 3 quarters. I mean, it just, everybody writes the story after the story as he makes a jump shot. The guy has had bad stretches before and come out and played great. He doesn't need any fuel.
He would probably play the same way if it was an empty gym.
Exactly. It's just the tired cliches.
James on Smith. J.R. Smith can't get it to go. Got it blocked. Chalmers leading the way. James on the run. And Chalmers couldn't handle it. A little sloppy ball handling as that's the 4th turnover for Eric Spoelstra's team.
But Mike, that happened in game 3 as well. The Knicks were up 40-29, and then their own ball handling issues came back to bite them. Good play by Davis to step in front of a cutting James, and then that's the second passing and catching turnover, unforced errors. It's one thing to be forced into turnovers. It's another to beat yourself by just not handling the ball well.
And they've had a couple of careless ones here. Knicks, meanwhile, with only 2 turnovers. That's a huge number for them if they want to stay with this team. J.R. Smith on the pull-up. Too strong. Chandler trying to battle Miller. Good rebound. Miller's always been a pretty good rebounder or a swing man. They'd be fighting Chalmers. Chalmers on the pull-up. That won't go. And Joel Anthony with the tip in. Heat back up by 2. LeBron James is now on Novak. Novak was saying every time he's entered the game in this series, all 5 Heat players say Novak's in, Novak's in. As Carmelo Anthony rattles in that one. 6 points for Carmelo Anthony. Final minute, first quarter. Bibby now on LeBron James on the switch. Miller from the corner. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical, about a second difference. And a foul away from the ball. It's on Battier. That's the 15th foul. So free throws. Did it with 6 remaining on the shot clock. Battier not pleased with the calls. He picks up his second.
Well, good job by Anthony of actually initiating the contact, but acted as if he was the offended one and
right.
Getting his way to the free throw line, knowing that it was in the penalty.
So 2 quick fouls from one of the smartest defenders in the NBA as Anthony goes to the line. In our big board, the rest of this series, if there will be more, if the Knicks can win, Game 5 will be Wednesday in Miami. That game on TNT at 7 Eastern. And then if the Knicks could somehow win that one as well, the series would return Game 6 here Friday night at Madison Square Garden. As Bosch, you see, sitting. Bosch has gone back and forth a couple of times between New York and Miami while his team's been up here. The birth of his son, he and his wife with their first child. Got back just in time for Game 3. Flew back yesterday. Actually flew back Friday, spent the day with her, came back and returned in time for practice yesterday here at the Garden. Anthony hits a pair. 7.3 remaining. Wade. Smith right with him. Wade, difficult shot, and that will end the first quarter. A big quarter for the Knicks in terms of free throw shooting. They went to the line 7 times. The Heat did not attempt a free throw. One of the reasons why the Knicks up 2, plus the return of Amari Stoudemire. He had 6 points and 4 rebounds. Stoudemire very active early. And as the first quarter comes to an end, the Knicks lead the Heat by 2. This presentation of the NBA playoffs.
On both ends, but hopefully we'll play better.
Amari Stoudemire was very active early, and he's basically playing with one hand. How do you exploit that to work in your favor?
Well, I mean, obviously we know which way he's driving, but it's his catches that are concerning. You know, his one's in the paint, able to get some fouls, so we just have to be better.
All right, thanks for your time. Mike?
Lead the Heat by 2 as we get set for the second quarter. Time for the coach's interview, brought to you by American Express. Here's Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Mike. Eric, this is a must-win game for them, so you know that their intensity level was going to be high. How do you think your guys matched that intensity in that first quarter?
Okay, we think it can be better, but you know, we're still right here right now, so we can change that. They came out with a lot of force. We were a little bit inefficient on both ends, but hopefully we'll play better.
Amari Stoudemire was very active early, and he's basically playing with one hand. How do you exploit that to work in your favor?
Well, I mean, obviously we know which way he's driving, but it's his catches that are concerning. You know, his one's in the paint, able to get some fouls, so we just have to be better.
All right, thanks for your time. Mike?
All right, Lisa. James guarded by Jared Jeffries, who just checked in. Makes him take a difficult shot. That won't go. Rebound inside. Harrison the block, but a foul. Dwayne Wade snuck in front of him. And able to get the offensive rebound. Spoelstra, 41 years old, not really a hint of gray yet, although that might change. But he has done an unbelievable job. Hard to believe it's already his 4th year as the head coach. He's been with the team for 17. His first job as a coach was in Germany. He was a player coach with the German Pro League. After playing college ball at the University of Portland, he says all he did was wheel out the balls as the assistant coach. That was pretty much his duty. And then he did everything and anything for the Miami Heat, working his way up and working hard every step of the way to become their head coach.
And I think his composure and his poise are remarkable in such a challenging situation. And you know what? How many other coaches who are going to be contending for the championship are in like no-win situations? If he wins it, everybody's going to say, well, it's a Pat Riley put-together team, and you know he's just a protege. And if he loses, then it's going to be all on him. And it's not fair. I think the guy has done a remarkable job as Miller lines up a three. And it's not like this is a perfect team that's been constructed. They have holes, and he's done a very good job of covering those holes up.
Chalmers with a deflection away from Bibby, and then a foul on Bibby. And Pat Riley, and who's that fella next to him?
Green is good. Oh, that's a classic line.
Great to see him. Michael Douglas, who had his battles with cancer, he had that unbelievable line where he's introduced, got a standing ovation after he went through a rash of treatments, and he said there's got to be an easier way to get a standing ovation. He has handled that part of his life with dignity. Now a big Heat fan.
And Pat Riley and Michael Douglas have been friends for a long, long time.
Wade is fouled. J.R. Smith hit him. And more free throws again. First quarter, 7 free throw attempts for the Knicks, none by the Heat. Just the opposite through most of the series.
Well, they run a little rub cut for Wade off of Joel Anthony's screen. Does a good job of getting Harrelson up in the air and going to his left hand.
Wade, as we mentioned, had a strong series, averaging 21 a game as he misses that, but 56% from the field. In some ways, is it wrong to say the last couple of years with LeBron James coming on the scene and dominating most of the headlines, we're starting to take him for granted a little bit, underappreciate all that he does as well?
Well, I think it's more that it was clearly he was the best player on the team, and he so willingly accepted a different type of role where he's not the guy every game.
J.R. Smith misses, rebound James. It's almost become this year more of LeBron James is number one. As Chalmers puts up a three, that won't go. Novak the rebound. And Wade has accepted whatever he's had to do to make LeBron James comfortable. Nice feed inside. Harrelson, offensive foul. Knicks feeling that was a flop. Miller went down pretty quickly as the rookie from Kentucky picks up his second.
Well, good screen by Harrelson.
Miller is almost coming into Harrelson a little bit. Certainly contact there. Coming up on 2 minutes gone by here in the second. Still even. James the drive. So difficult to defend. He's got 8 points. And a foul on Chalmers. Shot won't count. So the Knicks will inbound.
Well, this is a heck of a move by James, but this is just poor defense by the Knicks. Jared Jeffries got absolutely no help. J.R. Smith didn't move off the corner. Josh Harrelson didn't protect the basket.
J.R. Smith misses. Jeffries the rebound. Back out Bibby. Bibby from three. That won't go. Ball tipped and taken by James. He already has 3 rebounds. Nobody's hit a 3 yet. The two teams combined 0 for 13. James hearing the boos now every time he touches. Chalmers goes back door. Poor defense from J.R. Smith.
Well, give Smith credit on this. He was trying to give support on James's drive, but when one guy steps over to give help, you've got to help the helper.
So it wasn't Smith's fault.
Well, it is, but Josh Harrelson has to protect his back. He sees this cut. He's got to be earlier. He's not even in the picture.
And an easy 2 for Chalmers. Another assist for LeBron James. And the Heat open up the second period with a 6-0 run.
Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC, home of the
Playoffs continue on ESPN and ESPN2. Some Game 6 matchups. You hope, though, the way some of these teams are taking care of business. Heat, Knicks, Pacers, Magic, Spurs, Jazz. Right now, 3 teams in control. Clippers, Grizzlies, maybe. Check out ESPN.com for times and networks later in the week. Let's go to some huddles of the 2 head coaches.
All right, look, got to have the same kind of defense. That's a great defensive quarter. All right? Got to carry it into the second quarter, 1 quarter at a time.
Let's just pick it up. We're being a little bit casual on both ends right now. Okay, a bigger sense of urgency on both ends. I want to get that ball moving to attacks and get to the rim.
Ball inside, goes to Chalmers. His shot won't go. Novak the rebound. Knicks only had 2 turnovers in the first quarter. They've got 3 already here in the second period. J.R. Smith back up to Bibby. Bibby for 3. Knicks now 0 for 7 from downtown, same as the Heat.
And Mike, these are good open threes. That's a good play by J.R. Smith.
Bosch can't connect. Jeffries the rebound. Nearly throws it away. Yes, he does. Anthony with the hustle play. And Wade resets. James Jones getting some early minutes. And a foul on Stoudemire. That's going to be 3 on Stoudemire. And a decision for Mike Woodson. Does he take him out? Yep.
Well, most times on that block, you'd have your left hand or left forearm on him. But because of his injury, he's putting his right forearm on him, which makes it much more difficult to defend Bosch coming into the middle. So in a small minor way, his injury led to that foul.
And we've seen a couple of plays already.
He should be having his left hand, you know, to brace himself, and obviously doesn't feel comfortable enough with that.
So he'll sit down. Had a very good start, but picked up the 2 quick fouls. Now has 3. And Bosch gives the Heat a 6-point lead. So an 8-0 run to start the second period. And again, you see Steve Novak out there. He's played 7 minutes, still hasn't attempted the shot. What are the Heat doing to prevent him from getting off shots?
Well, they're just staying at home, and they're not having to double team and get in any rotation. So it's going to limit his opportunities. The same in transition. They're doing a very good job in the transition game of locating him above the 3-point line.
And that was the first 3 games, that number. Novak, the NBA's leading 3-point shooter, was as hot as anybody in the league after the All-Star break. James Jones sits down. Battier back in. Baron Davis returns. Battier on Anthony. Battier has 2 fouls himself. 1 dribble, quick shot, won't go. And Wade the rebound. And another rough shooting start for Carmelo Anthony. He's 3 for 9. Wade spinning. And a foul on Novak. Novak picks up his first. Team's in the penalty, though, with 7:47 remaining. What a difference from the first quarter as Chandler will return.
Game 3, the bench for Mike Woodson played well. Tonight, it's really been a struggle.
So Chandler set the check.
Have not scored yet in the second.
And it's over 4 minutes now. Sunday, May 20th, it's the season's biggest music event featuring music's biggest stars with a special tribute to Whitney Houston, live from the Vegas Strip, the Billboard Music Awards. That's Sunday, May 20th, live on ABC. The Heat so capable of these type of runs. That's how they started the 4th quarter in Game 3. They start the second one now with 10 straight points. This is their largest lead of the opening half. Knicks once again struggling putting the ball in the basket. 32% from the field shooting. Novak, long range, won't go. They wave it off. Carmelo Anthony with a moving screen. He picks up his first.
Well, good little screen off the pick and roll, and
Just moved aside to knock down Bosch.
That was a good call.
Are you saying that sarcastically?
No, that was a good call.
Sometimes I can't tell. Wade splits the defense, floats it up, shot won't go, and Joel Anthony another offensive rebound. Bosch is left open again. 12 straight points, and the Knicks down by double figures. Josh Harrelson's going to come back in. Mike Woodson desperate for some kind of offense. Nearly deflected out of bounds by Wade. Smith then pumped him back. It's still going to be Nick Ball. And Woodson's going to call a timeout. Knicks with 20 points in 17 minutes and shooting just 32% from the field. Johnson, Michael Wilbon, John Barry, Chris Broussard. The Bulls on the ropes as Philadelphia beat them again. They're up 3-1, and they'll analyze the first half. No doubt talk about more offensive struggles for the Knicks, who have yet to score here in this second period. 0 for 6, 5 turnovers, and we've only played 5 minutes and 2 seconds. Certainly, so much of it is the Heat defense, which we continually say has been superb, but the Knicks just can't beat anybody off the dribble.
No, and Josh Harrelson had an open shot right there. Turned it down and then drove it. Made a nice play. In his limited minutes this year, Mike, he has played well. He's a very good offensive player. He knows how to screen. He can spread the floor a little bit. And these are the fouls you can't commit when you're in the penalty.
Smith picks his second. Harrelson, by the way, the second round pick, the rookie from Kentucky. As again, even when Mike D'Antoni was a coach, D'Antoni liked his ability to hit a jumper, and he's a smart defensive player for a rookie. In one of his first interviews with the New York media after he was drafted and asked him questions about himself, his quote was, "I'm a never-ending waterfall of fun."
If I do say so myself. But think about it. Back when he was playing in Kentucky, or at Kentucky, no one was thinking about him being an effective pro player. So give Donnie Walsh, Glenn Grunwald, the scouting staff of the Knicks a lot of credit for knowing that this guy had a skill set.
Off the turnover, and a foul on Chalmers after Joel Anthony grabbed another rebound. Anthony with 5 rebounds already, but then Chalmers committed the foul after the turnover. Chalmers his second, and the Heat's third team foul. LeBron James is going to come back in.
For Miami, number 6, LeBron James is back in. He replaces Mario Chalmers.
A welcome for LeBron James. He was saying, like most players, and we've talked about this a lot. Our man Mark Jackson used to say it all the time. Players, if you ask them to pick to hit a big shot at the buzzer, would you rather do it on the road to silence the crowd or do it at home and have the crowd go crazy? Almost every player says silence the road crowd. Especially after you get treated the way he's been treated. Although his treatment on the road not as bad as it was last year. In fact, he got chance of MVP in a game in Newark against the Nets in their final regular season game in New Jersey. J.R. Smith, tough shot, knocks it down. He was 0 for 5 before that. And the Knicks down by 6. James drives down right at Chandler. Won't go. Anthony the rebound. Good job from Chandler going straight up. And another moving screen. Tyson Chandler told by Monty McCutcheon to stop. Chandler making his case with McCutcheon, but to no avail. Timeout on the floor. Midway through the second, Heat up 6.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by Marvel's The Avengers. Assemble in theaters, now playing everywhere.
Back at Madison Square Garden, soccer superstar Thierry Henry. Edie Falco, she's been to a lot of Knicks games this year. Bernie Williams, a former Yankee World Series hero. Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys, and an adorable child. And of course, Spike's sporting a hat today that's not a Knick hat. You were here for many years. As you look at the second quarter domination right now, Spike Lee is a legitimate fan.
Like, he would come when the Clippers were the worst of the worst on a weeknight. Spike Lee would be here early for the Clippers. That's when you know you have a true fan.
James left wide open, rattles that one in. He's in double figures. Heat lead is 8. They've outscored the Knicks 14-4 here in the second. Anthony back out. Shot clock down to 5. Anthony annoyed with Davis as Davis drives down the lane, gets it inside to Chandler. Chandler lost it out of bounds. Knicks have 0.9 to shoot. Eric Spoelstra pointing that out to his team. They lob it in. Anthony quick up and in. That's a long .9, but he got it to go. That's what Eric Spoelstra feels.
And I would feel the same if I was Eric. But good little rub screen by Baron Davis. Good catch and finish by Anthony.
Anthony on Battier. Davis again guarding LeBron James. He had some effective minutes in game 3 against him. And James gets in easily that time. And a loose ball foul call on Joel Anthony, who's been a monster on the boards here in the first half. Again, .9.
Well, when you can catch it up in the air, hit the ground, and go back up,
Right, that's
a long .9. He was up there pretty quick. Hey, let's give him one. Come on, it's been such a struggle to score.
just over 4.5 remaining here in the second. It's just standing around now, and offensively, this is what happened to them, especially in the second half of game 3. Anthony on the drive on Battier, goes up and under, can't get it to go, rebound, follows good. And a good hard play, but the Knicks offense falling into that same predicament right now, Jeff, where guys are standing around while Carmelo Anthony plays the isolation game.
If those are going to be your possessions, Mike, even though that one worked out with the second shot, you're not beating this team like that. They're just too good.
James is fouled. And Tyson Chandler can't believe the call. Tom Washington looking long and hard as Chandler argues. The crowd doesn't like the call. Chandler picks up his second.
That's not a, well, on the elbow, that's a foul.
Yeah.
But he showed the motion, Tom Washington did, the official, that it was down low. If that's what he called, I would disagree. Did he hit him on the elbow?
Meanwhile, the Heat, who did not take a free throw in the first quarter, they've taken 12 already here in the second. Their lead is 6 as we come up on 4 minutes remaining. Knicks, the way they've struggled offensively, especially here in this period, fortunate to be only down by 6.
I think Mike Woodson's got to get Landry Fields back in the game. He was attacking off the dribble as the Heat were called for a defensive 3-second violation. He was attacking off the dribble, plus he's still one of their better perimeter defenders.
So a one-shot technical. Anthony will shoot that. This is the Knicks' first free throw attempt of the second quarter. Mike Woodson has the interim tag right now after he took over when Mike D'Antoni resigned. His finish to the regular season was fabulous. 18-6. They were one of the best defensive teams in the league. Right now doing anything to try and avoid a sweep.
And Mike, I've read a lot of speculation today that he needs this win to come back next year.
24-second violation.
And that just seems silly to me. He's got a banged up and hurt team. He did a tremendous job in Atlanta before he came here. He's done a tremendous job here. I can't understand why this one game would, win or lose, would change the perception of him And I don't think it will with the Knick administration. I think ownership and management really value what he's done here.
There was a superb end to the regular season. Meanwhile, he was arguing there. He thought LeBron James had gained possession on that last play, and it shouldn't have been a violation. Another offensive rebound for the Heat. This time Bosh. Miller is open. That won't go. Harrelson the rebound. Harrelson has given him some good minutes once again off the bench. Crowd desperate to get up and cheer. Anthony double team spinning inside to Chandler. Battier comes up with a Chandler, dives on him, and then throws it out of bounds.
But you see the spacing between Harrelson and Tyson Chandler. They're so tight together. There's no way you can play good offense. As he spins here, look how close those two are. So you can still put two on the ball, and you have no advantage on the weak side. Harrelson or Chandler's got to space himself, and I would say Harrelson because he's a better shooter, spaces himself a little bit more so that when Anthony gets and draws the second defender, the passing lanes are easily seen.
And that's a big part of why they have their 8th turnover of the second quarter. James, that was almost a pass to himself. Remember they had that 13 turnover quarter in Miami in game 1. Baron Davis fakes to Chandler. Chandler drives past Bosh. Layup won't go. Bosh the rebound, and Chandler, not a smart play there at all to pick up his 3rd foul. And a technical foul called on Chandler. He better be careful. He may have just gotten hit with a second one. Monty McCutcheon gave Chandler a technical. Then it appeared Tom Washington gave him a technical as well.
That absolutely happened. Now, whether they're going to get together and say it was just one technical foul or not, but that's a very poor choice of a foul. And then he definitely earned his technical. I don't think he deserved a second one.
I think Tom Washington was kind of saying to Monty McCutcheon, I got it, meanwhile the technical's my call. We'll find out when we come back. Tyson Chandler remains in the game. Only one technical was handed out, but it's going to result in 3 free throws for the Heat. Chandler got a little frustrated and lost his composure here. Thought he was fouled by Bosh, and then after Bosh got the rebound, just a silly foul, and then compounds it with the technical. You see McCutcheon giving the tee, but then Tom Washington saying, I got it. So it was only one technical foul call on Chandler. Chandler will sit as he picks up his 3rd personal foul.
But those are the fouls that you beat yourself with. You know they're in the penalty. You know you're valuable. Stoudemire already has 3, and because of your frustration, you just whack somebody in the back court. You have to play, and it's so hard, Mike, to play at the highest level of intensity and couple that with the highest level of poise.
So James hits the technical free throw. Now Bosh will shoot the 2. Bosh, meanwhile, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Chandler's going to sit for the rest of the half. Stoudemire with his 3 fouls sitting for the rest of the half. And the end is a critical time for the Knicks. They've had trouble finishing out quarters as we listen to an Eric Spoelstra huddle.
Right now, we got to go on a run before the half, okay? I want to play off misses. Get to your space and move that ball.
That was the key time in game 3. Knicks were up 11 with just under 2 to play. Heat reeled off 7 in a row, and instead of the Knicks going in with a double-figure lead at halftime, it was 4, and lost a lot of the momentum. Anthony on the right side. Quick shot. And a foul on Battier. And that's 3 on Shane Battier.
Miami foul is on Shane Battier, his 3rd.
Anthony 5 of 12 from the field. He's got 4 rebounds, hit all 3 of his free throws.
And even though this won't go as a shot attempt, Mike, that is his shot. He has had very good looks at the basket tonight.
In some of the first 3 games, yes, granted he's faced a lot of double teams, but he's also just simply not shot the ball well.
And that one dribble pull-up from the elbow area, he's lethal there. And he just hasn't been so far in this series.
And prior to the playoffs, final month of the regular season, nobody was hotter than he was offensively. Was the player of the month in April in the Eastern Conference, averaged 30 a game, about 50% from the field, misses a free throw.
Yeah, he absolutely carried the Knicks in April. Stoudemire was out with injury. Lynn out with injury.
But in April, they only played the Heat once in this series. They've played them 3 times, and what a defensive scheme they've had, and the execution has been brilliant for the Miami Heat. 7-point game, just under 2.5 remaining here in game 4. Heat looking to wrap things up, get the sweep. Alley-oop poked away nicely by Anthony. Did a good job seeing his ball and the man. Fields, bad pass, and then a loose ball foul is going to go against Wade. Wow, Knicks got a break there. It looked like Baron Davis was the one that held him off. And now they're in the penalty. That's a big call.
Good read by Wade.
You know, on second look,
I thought that was the right call.
Yep, you're right. My mistake.
Or it could have been a play-on situation as well, Mike.
Davis hits the free throw. First points for Davis. Wade, meanwhile, the foul. That's his second. Eric Spoelstra didn't think it was good. And of course, he hasn't seen the replay.
Nor will he care. Coaches, when you go back and look, you say, yeah, we got that one right, but I got 10 others one that they didn't get right.
5-point game. Bosch gets the lob in. Couldn't handle a pass. Josh Harrelson staying right with him. Two minutes remaining, second quarter. Knicks fighting to keep their season alive and force a game 5. Fields back up Smith. Shot clock down to 7. Smith on the drive. Gets inside, misses. Anthony's tip won't go. And here comes Chalmers to Wade. James cutting to the basket, lays it in. Good look from Dwayne Wade. And it's back up to 7. James once again fronting Anthony. Fields on the drive. Nice feed. Pretty pass from Landry Fields. Well, Knicks in game 3 had 8 total assists for the game. They had 6 here in the first half. And we have a double foul on Anthony and LeBron James. For LeBron James, that's going to be his first. For Anthony, his second. And they won't shoot on that. I know you don't necessarily love the double foul call, but sometimes it's a good deterrent.
Don't love it? That's an understatement. If anything, if there was a foul there, it was LeBron James pushing off. I didn't even see a foul. A deterrent to what?
Wade. Well, guys are just, you know, pushing and shoving each other where it's nothing to do with basketball play to kind of get them to calm down.
Okay.
You conceded far too easy on that.
No, I mean, I can see your point. I just don't agree with it.
James called for his second foul. Now they're starting to tighten it up. Those two have been wrestling quite a bit last several times up and down the court.
Well, LeBron James is trying to... Wow.
There's not a lot there either.
See, the thing I would say is, whether you agree with that foul call or not, in the first 3 games, that was not a foul call. And that's why as a player, every game is different. And you have to be willing to adjust to how the game is being called. So if that's how it's going to be called tonight, listen, complaining or waiting till after the game to complain does you no good. You just have to make sure you adjust. And make sure, like if you're at the other end with LeBron James, you're attacking the basket, and maybe you'll get the same call.
Gee, I thought they should have gone with another double foul call. That would have been a real deterrent.
How about a double no foul call?
Okay, 5-point game, final minute, second quarter. Harrelson. And Harrelson better be careful. That's what I like to call. As he picks up his third.
Why do officials stare at players like that?
Well, to make sure they don't get carried away.
I thought it was a clean strip. And if you're Josh Harrelson, right? I mean, he's just emotional.
Right. So Bosch back to the line. Bosch is 6 for 6 from the free throw line, all here in the second period. This is their 16th and 17th free throw attempts of the quarter.
And Mike, that's such a great weapon, not only offensively when you're struggling, but also defensively, because you get to set your defense every time down and you're never playing in transition.
And both teams struggling offensively, both shooting 39%. James will sit. 15 points, couple of assists, couple of rebounds. Bosch, a good free throw shooter. Remains perfect for the afternoon. Anthony trying to set a screen, fires a jump shot. That won't go. Rebound tipped. And a loose ball foul against, I believe, Udonis Haslem. So more free throws for the Knicks. And Josh Harrelson will go to the line. That never-ending waterfall of fun with 2 free throws.
I like his game, Mike. He knows how to play. He knows who he is as a player. Looks like he's a good screener.
And he was a second-round pick. Played all 4 years of college. When John Calipari took over, he was not one of his favorites and didn't play a lot, but his senior year, because of opportunities on the roster, he was able to play and had a very good senior year.
I'm not buying that nickname that anybody calls him Shorts. He made that up himself.
It might be Paul part of the fun that he is.
He is a waterfall.
Winding down the second quarter, 5-point game. Anthony on Miller. James is back in, by the way. And J.R. Smith and Wade get involved down low, and Wade's going to go to the line. Didn't see what Smith did, but again, the Knicks just not a smart decision putting the Heat back at the free throw line.
Well, he just cuts baseline, and you know, now he exaggerated the contact and dove into the stands. But if you're J.R. Smith right now, you have to know how the game is being called. And you just have to pull your hands back. Easier said than done against a talent like Wade. But Mike, they haven't made him earn it in this quarter. They're gifting him free throws, not on drives to the basket, but on, you know, denial defense, rebound fouls, technical foul, on cuts. It's hard to win like that.
You know, they're 6 of 17, the Heat, from the field. So they're really struggling shooting the ball in their half-court sets. But they're getting to the line. Again, this will be the 19th. Wade misses another. And another offensive rebound. Bosch, he's played well. And the Heat will now hold it for the final shot. Those are killers from a Knicks standpoint.
And you've got to get Harrelson off of LeBron James. Somebody's got to run at him.
Final seconds. James on a pull-up jumper. Won't go. Rebound tip taken by Anthony. James upset with himself for missing that shot. And Amari Stoudemire had that strong start, but picked up 3 quick fouls and sat much of the second period. Despite all the offensive struggles the Knicks continue to have, they're only down by 6 as they try and keep their season alive here this afternoon at the Garden. Meanwhile, LeBron James and the Heat looking for the sweep, and James with Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Mike. LeBron, you guys held them scoreless.